friends, welcome back to my channel. This is Yahua. I'm doing a PhD at the University of Melbourne. Today's video will be a comparison between Beijing and Melbourne. Some of you might know that I did my undergrad in Beijing and stayed there for 4 years, and then I came to Melbourne to pursue a master's degree and then a PhD. This is actually my 4th year of living in Australia, so I thought that would be fun to compare these two very different cities. In today's video, I'll be talking about the different cost and quality of living, including some factors like housing, transportation, food, weather, entertainment, and social life. These are all based on my personal experience, and that may not represent everyone's feelings, so just bear in mind. Alright, without further ado, let's dive into the video. In general, I would say that living in Beijing is cheaper, but the quality of life is better in Melbourne. So let's begin by talking about housing. Most of my time living in Beijing was in university's dormitory. So my bachelor uni is located within the 3rd ring road of Beijing, which means that it has very good location. It also means that every inch of the land is expensive, so the room is pretty tiny. So back then, I need to share a room with 5 other girls together, and I also need to share 4 public bathroom stores with an entire floor of people, and I also have to share 1 public bathhouse with the whole school of people. For a girl from the southern part of China, I didn't experience that before. You know, my first impression of living in Beijing was like, it's so crowded, so packed, and I mean, you have to line up if you want to take a shower during the peak hours. That's pretty much how I spend most of my time living in Beijing in the school dormitory. In terms of renting, according to my bestie, she's working in Beijing right now, she said that if you want to rent a shared apartment within 5 ring road of Beijing, you need to spend around 3,000 yuan each month. Compared with that, I actually spend more money on the rent in Melbourne. Because in Melbourne, I always share the whole places with my flatmates and my housemates. My rent is around $800 to $1,000 per month. That would be 4,000 to 5,000 yuan. So the rent is higher than those in Beijing on average, but the place that I live in Melbourne is much spacious and also closer to the city center. It's not like Beijing. You probably need to spend 45 minutes on public transport if you want to come to your workplace from home. In terms of the transportation, Melbourne doesn't have that kind of well-developed or convenient public transport like in Beijing, and also Melbourne doesn't have metro yet. It's not that convenient, but it's enough for now. So if you want to travel around the city during peak hours, whether it is in Beijing or in Melbourne, the public transport in both cities are so packed like sardines. As we mentioned sardines, now let's talk about food. As a big foodie, I'm pretty satisfied with the 2 cities. Both cities have a great variety of food options, but I feel that Beijing have more localized Chinese cuisine, while Melbourne, on the other hand, it has more diverse food culture and you can find the food from every corner of the world. For example, in Beijing, I remember that around my bachelor uni, there were lots of restaurants, and you can find 川菜、湖南菜、粤菜、北京菜、新疆菜, etc., etc. And then in Melbourne, not only you can find these kind of authentic Chinese food, you can also find something else like local Vietnamese food like pho, or pad thai from Thailand, or Indonesian food, Greek, Italian, Ethiopian food. So here in Melbourne, it's not just fish and chips, that's a typical kind of Australian food, but when it comes to the food culture, it's actually very multicultural. So that's pretty much about food. And another thing I want to point out is the weather, because I feel that Beijing and Melbourne has similar weather. Both cities have something that I like and also hate about. For example, in Beijing, I really like the autumn there. It's like chill, and then you can see those yellow leaves everywhere. It's so beautiful. But I mean, the weather in Beijing is very dry, so that sometimes when it has air pollution, it will make my throat feels very uncomfortable. As for Melbourne, because it usually has sunny days, it wouldn't make me feel so gloomy because of the sunshine in Australia. But the weather in Melbourne is so changeable, like it's just crazy, changing from raining to sunny days to windy and then raining again. But I mean, these are all bearable and you can't complain too much about nature. Now let's talk about entertainment and social life. Basically, because I was doing a bachelor degree in Beijing, this is when you need to have fun and enjoy your university life, right? So I joined a lot of clubs and I also joined the uni's chorus, which means that I have a lot of performing opportunities and also have a lot of extracurricular activities. I pretty much spend more time on those activities than on studying. And also when I was in Beijing, I always have a large group of people to hang out with. So I would say that my social life in Beijing was very busy. But after I came to Melbourne, I feel that my friend circle is much smaller. I don't know if that's because as I grow older, I realize that I don't need so many friends. I only need a few close friends and I feel that's enough. So after I came to Melbourne, I have a smaller friend circle, but I still very happy the fact that I have so many supportive friends around me. And also, I often hear people say that for overseas Chinese, living abroad is quite boring because you don't have so many things to do outside of China, and you also don't have so many friends or your relatives around you. It's not like you're in China. I think I'm not 100% agree with that because for me, maybe my first year of living in Melbourne was a bit boring because I wasn't familiar with the city and I was trying to get used to the whole new English environment here. So back then, the only thing I could do was to study and nothing else. But then as I get more familiar with the city, I find that living in Melbourne actually has a lot of things to do. For example, what I usually do is to explore different food and then to go to those museums, galleries, also play tennis, go hiking, doing some indoor rock climbing or snowboarding. There are lots of fun things to do and you can still make friends in this foreign land. And also my study and work and my other hobbies are making me very busy. So I think my life in Melbourne is not that boring or lonely like I felt in the first year, for example. But I mean, I do miss my friends and family in China, and because of the COVID restriction, I can't come back to China and visit them. Anyways, for those who are also living far away from their hometown and fighting for a better life alone in a big and foreign city, I wish you could still hang there and pursue what you want in life. In conclusion, whether it is in Beijing or in Melbourne, I think I like both cities and I also do enjoy the time that I spend in the two cities, and I also have a lot of good memories in Beijing and Melbourne. Wow, now I miss Beijing so much. Alright, that's all for today's video. I hope you enjoy and don't forget to give this video a like and subscribe to my channel. I will see you in the next one. Bye!